Day Dawns ARKS! Welcome everyone to your weekly Phantasy Star Online 2 podcast, recorded live on April 4th, 2020. I am your host, PrinceBrightstar. Unfortunately, neither Xance or Winsock could be with us this week, so I'm going to be flying solo today. So to start us off, in my gaming week, I've continued to work on the North American version, having now reached 312 titles. So whenever we do get the next content update, I'll be good to go on any new titles that require a certain number of titles in order to obtain those. My current goal is to get all of my classes leveled up to level 75, so I can finish getting all of my class bonuses. I think at this point I've got everything except for Ranger at least level 50 now, so I've still got some work to do, but with 3 classes done, Hunter, Braver, and Summoner, it's only a matter of time now. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic here. Or rather, our first topic here, PSO2 Day Extension. So, PSO2 Day is here. It's our very first North American PSO2 Day. Read this article to find out more about the special day, which happens to be on the 2nd of every month. Join your fellow ARKS on the 2nd day of every month to celebrate the PSO2 Day. On this special day, players will receive login rewards and experience incredible boosts. In addition to the bonuses offered in the PSO2 Day, users with an active premium set subscription will also receive an item reward on the 22nd of every month. So basically, the bonuses will carry over onto that day as well. So for this month, of course, April 2nd, for logging in, you get 22 Star Gems tickets. Or rather, a 22 Star Gem ticket, with that being multiplied if you are premium. And then, if you log in on April 2nd, you're going to get a bunch of bonuses on the PSO2 Day. Fun earned is increased by 100%, experience earned by 100%. You get an extra login stamp bonus. Rare item drop rate is increased by 100%, and the Gathering Fever occurrence rate is increased by 100%. But that's not all. During PSO2 Day, there is a chance you will encounter a rare enemy, the ARKS Rappy. If you see an ARKS Rappy on the field, make sure to defeat it, as it has a chance of dropping the outfit Rappy Suit Mini ARKS. So, the reason that this topic is notified as extension is because on the 2nd, this actually didn't activate on time. Rather, it started much later in the day, and so basically, PSO2 Day got an extension into a 2nd day, and so essentially these boosts went from the 2nd into the 3rd, and ending at 1 a.m. PST on the 4th. And with that, let's move into our next topic here, which is the Scratch updates. So, Fun Scratch Ticket 2020 April. Greetings, operatives. We hope you're all having a fun time in Phantasy Star Online 2's open beta test. In addition to the new Urban Lifestyle AC Scratch Ticket, you can also draw Fun Scratch Tickets for a chance to grab accessories, furnishings, emotes, and more. Here's how you can earn fun points. You can either send or receive a kudos. An added comment will earn the sender bonus fun points. Exchange X cubes for a fun point ticket. You can log on to the game. Consecutive daily logins award bonuses to fun points. So on the first day it's 100 fun points, and then on the 2nd day it's 200, and so on up until the 5th day, at which point it resets. You can also summon a friend avatar, or be summoned as a friend avatar, and complete a quest. You can go over to those consoles, the Visiphones that have the question marks above them, and register your friend avatar there. You can also revive incapacitated operatives, and you can also spend some ARKS cash or AC to get fun. But really, you want to look at the other options first before doing that. Fun can be used for more than just fun scratch tickets. There's a link there for learning more about fun points, but we've covered that previously. So, fun scratch ticket. Drawing a fun scratch ticket offers a chance to obtain consumables, emotes, and furnishings. Let's take a look at the list below. This particular fun scratch is going to go until April 14th. So we've got a pompadour hairstyle, long braids, no eyebrows. Anybody that's a cast might be interested in that, or if they just don't want eyebrows, of course. We've also got some fine eyelashes here, fingerless gloves, heel wheels. Definitely an interesting accessory. I would expect that to show up more on cast than I would on regular other races. And then you've also got some Easter-themed items here as well, such as Easter necklaces, and then a Rappy nest and egg, and a Rappy chick that you can have on your head. Kind of reminds me of Saz and the little chocobo chick that he had in his hair back in Final Fantasy XIII. There's also a Moai mask here, which is interesting because that actually does relate to a location that we'll eventually get to in the game over in Episode 4 once that releases. You've got a mouth leaf accessory, and then you have a Mikoto sticker, Kuna score sticker, Punkish sticker, a set of blushes, and even more eyelashes here, and eyebrows, cat ear hairbands, stabilizers, a new set of hats, and then looks like we've also got some new glasses, eye monitor, which I believe we actually had that in the previous scratch, if I remember correctly, because I remember there was both me and Xantz, I believe, made a joke about how one of them looked kind of like a scouter from Dragon Ball Z. And then you've got some Ares horns, as well as a Ares cap and a sticker set. And then you've also got some furnishing here. The classic stuff was around for the previous scratch as well. You also got some music discs which you can use in the jukebox that you can purchase from the Funporium. And then you've also got some consumables here, which includes getting access to personal quarters, access to the personal shop, some boosters, and things like that. And then you've got two emotes here, one that is Leave It To Me, and the second is Deny. So we hope you have fun in your adventures as an ARKS operative. The first April 2020 Fun Scratch ticket lineup will be available until maintenance begins on April 14th, so make sure to check it out before then. Alright, moving on from that, let's take a look at our AC Scratch now, which is called Urban Lifestyle. So, along with this, we do have a video here, and so we have the sleeveless coat F and the jammed shorts. And then you also have an emote here, the Swing Light 3. And then for the males, you've got rough jeans as your base wear. And then you also have an emote, airplane. So basically, you're just running around in a circle with your arms stretched out doing a T-pose there. So mod coat and rough jeans there. You also have the Lady Tracker outfit here. And so you get 3 pieces with that, outer, base, and inner wear with that. You also have the pose number 4 emote. Males are going to get the liner jacket ensemble. So there is the set of that. There's also a wall slam emote, which is something that you see in anime from time to time. Mirasera, which is Kuna's outfit. Kuna, of course, being the one that is doing all those singing concerts. And you also have the Mikoto ensemble. If you have not started into story mode, you will want to start into that, since that is Matoy we're seeing there, and that is the outfit that she wears through most of that. So there are several types of scratch tickets depending upon the currency used, from ARKS Cash to Star Gems and Fun Points. Drawing an AC scratch ticket offers a chance to obtain an outfit, accessory, or consumable. And here's just another look at everything that is contained within that AC scratch. You also have the Rasios body, or rather the Rasios cast set. Cast sets are always going to come in sets of 4, so you're going to have your body, your arms, your legs, and your headpiece. Just a note, your headpiece is always going to be in a separate section from where you put on your armor. In that left section of the armor section, you actually need to either go into your fashion, or you need to go into the where you would basically change all the aesthetics of your character, the makeup shop, to get the headpiece put on. And then you've got even further accessories here, the pigtails, basically a lot of new hairstyles, some new eyes as well, a rose tattoo, one for the males and one for the females, some socks, biker gloves, some headband accessories, and some scarves and belts that you can wear, and new headpieces as well. And you can also get yourself a tail if you wanted to do that as well, and not have it be one of the units that you have. So, for example, in game currently, if you take out some of the Draconian bosses, for example, the Vol Dragon or the Quartz Dragon, and even the Chrome Dragon, they drop units which take the form of tails. And these are different kinds of tails that you can wear instead of those, and there are no stats tied to these. Those just become one of the accessories that you wear instead. You can also get some round shields here, and some, looks like you got some headphones here, a heart-shaped bun for your hair, and some casual boots. And then with that, you do have several other items that are consumables here. You've got food devices for your mags. You've got affixed augments, which can help a little bit on the power that's on your weapon, but it's never going. It's basically something that you would use as part of the augmentation process, which is something that we're going to cover in the future on this show. And then you've also got elemental transition items here, which change the element that your weapon is. You've also got the 4 emotes that we saw in the video a moment ago. And then you've also got some bonus rewards here, depending upon the number of draws that you make at the scratch. So, after 5 draws, you get the Rappy Balloon accessory. After 10, you get an Augmentation Aid plus 30%. After 15, a Lilliput Balloon. You can see those two down here. After 30, you get an Urban L ticket, which basically lets you use... you can use one of these tickets to get a particular item that you haven't had any luck getting yet from the scratch. After 40, a 100,000 experience ticket. After 50, an extra Tri-Boost 200%, which goes on top of another Tri-Boost that you might already be using. And then at 60 and 120 scratches, you then get 2 more of those Urban L tickets. And this scratch will be expiring after May 5th. So if you got anything that you want to get from here, make sure to get in to the scratch before then. Alright, so moving on, let's take a look at the current campaigns in the game. Let's see here. Ahoy, Arks! You cannot fight the fall spawn alone, matey. Join other Arks operatives in parties of up to 4 players and complete quests to receive rewards while the campaign is still active. One of them is a neat pirate hat accessory. Yah! Alright, so the campaign date goes from March 31st until April 14th. So you want to join a party of at least 2 players and complete 3 quests or more from the end of maintenance on March 31st until the beginning of maintenance on April 14th. That will give you a 20 star gem ticket. And then after completing 5 quests with at least 2 players, you will receive a pirate hat accessory. And with the SG20 ticket, you can redeem 20 star gems. This unique currency can be used to purchase scratch tickets, mission pass tiers, and much more. Let's move on to the next one here. So, we also have a campaign for using group chat. So, the key to any good ARKS relationship is communication. Take advantage of the group chat feature in Phantasy Star Online 2 while the campaign is active, and receive a special Mag Evolution device based on the classic Sega title Puyo Puyo. So once again, that lasts until April 14th, and you need to just communicate within a group chat. They don't say how many times you actually need to communicate, so I'm assuming you just have to communicate one time in there, and then you're good to go. And you will get the green Puyo for doing that. Group chat is a unique way to interact with your friends within Phantasy Star Online 2. When creating a group chat, simply assign players from your friends list to the group. Anyone who has joined is able to send and receive chat messages, and it does not require you to be in the same party or alliance. And that's the key feature of this. If you got players that you just want to keep in contact, say you've got a group of players that you just want to have on standby whenever you want to run like a super hard advanced quest or something like that, that's sort of what a group chat is designed for. It's not going to be your alliance. Your alliance is completely different from this, because there's no group chat points associated with this here. Alright, moving on from that, let's move on to the site announcements here. So, closed beta test rewards. Did you battle your way through those urgent quests suppressing the fall spawn menace with tenacity and bravery? Then ARKS has your commendations at the ready and is eager to honor those who answered the call to action. Visit the Visiphone. Those who met the following criteria during the closed beta test will be able to take the below-mentioned actions. For completing 1 urgent quest, you receive the Photon Halo C accessory and a Tri-Boost plus 100%. For 2 urgent quests, you receive the Photon Halo A accessory and another Tri-Boost plus 100%. For 3 urgent quests, you receive a Dreamcast mag and a Tri-Boost plus 100%. And for 4 urgent quests completed, you receive the Weapon Camo Coated Edge and a Tri-Boost plus, actually 10 Tri-Boost plus 100%. Just for reference, the Coated Edge is a weapon that is somewhat significant to the story if you haven't noticed it already. It is a weapon carried by Persona the Masked. So, interesting that is being given out to players as a weapon camo. After the regularly scheduled maintenance on March 31st, you'll be able to pay a visit to the Visiphone and collect your rewards at the in the received campaign items, and that's it. Your items should now be in your inventory. And quite literally, you go to the Visiphone, it's going to have an exclamation point above it to indicate that it's got something for you. Just go in there, pick it up. You're good to go. Alright, so next we have the urgent quests and concert schedule. Welcome, ARKS. If you're new to Phantasy Star Online 2, you should know that you will have the chance to participate in challenging missions that happen at specific times throughout the day, in addition to being on call for the occasional random urgent task. Join forces with up to 11 other players and battle the strongest of the fall spawn in these epic raids. You will know when an urgent quest is about to begin when warning lights flash and loudspeakers blare throughout the ARK ship. Ensure you've made the necessary preparations before heading to the quest counter so that you're fully equipped in the battle to come. So, April 2020 Part 1. We still have a lot in store for the Phantasy Star Online 2 open beta test. Check the information below to get up to speed on the urgent quests and Kuna live stage events happening in the first half of April. So, taking a look at this here, all those red spots there are going to be Dark Falls Elder encounters. The light blue one there is going to be the Grudge of Rampaging Dragons. That one is going to basically take you out to the floating continent. The sort of tan one there, that's going to be the Dead Sea where dragons gather, so that's going to be over on Wolf Hall. And then, of course, the purple ones there are going to be purple or magenta. I'm not entirely sure, but those are the Eternal Encore Kuna concerts. So, in these particular concerts, Kuna does not do an encore, it's just Eternal Encore that she sings in these. And then, pretty much the same story here in week number 2. We do have this gap here in the middle of the day from 2 p.m. until 6:30 p.m. PST. That's basically when any of the random urgent quests could potentially pop up. And then here we just have a little description of each of them. The Raging Obsidian Arm. Attention ARKS, we appear to be under a blitz attack from a fragment of Elder the Gargantuan that is approaching at great speed. Initial analysis indicates that this fragment is atypical of those previously encountered. All ARKS are to quickly arm themselves for a much tougher fight, with the goal of intercepting and weakening the fragment to provide time for full-scale resources to be deployed. So, it's interesting. The way that they describe this, they make it seem like this is the second type of encounter for this emergence, or rather for this urgent quest. And the source of that, if I understand this correctly, is that this is actually sort of a holdover from the Japanese version, whereby when this urgent quest originally came out there, you just had your normal to super hard mode, but then eventually a new version got released, and that's where the moniker, as some that might have played that particular version, eventually got the urgent quest Utterly Profound. So it's interesting that they carried that language over here to the North American version, even though that technically hasn't happened. Although, given that I don't think they would have rolled the urgent quest back to the prior version, we're basically just getting the second version of this quest before, without having to go through the first one, essentially. And then we've also got this one here, Elder of the Unfathomable Abyss. Earlier attempts to weaken the fragment of Elder the Gargantuan appear to have only strengthened it, and all ARKS are required to prepare for what could be the final battle of ARKS. However, operatives are encouraged to remember that their combined effort and passion cannot but lead to victory. Take comfort in the strength of your comrades and prepare for the battle to come. One special note about this. You do need to be participating in the first part of this this sequence here, the Raging Obsidian Arm, in order to activate this second part. It's something that basically happens a lot with urgent quests, in that if there's a second part to it, you need to have participated in the first part in order to get into it. And there's also a second hidden requirement of the first part in order to activate this second part. Basically, you need to have enough players across the entire ship participate in this in order to actually get enough, basically bring his health down enough to activate the second portion of this. That's what that thing you see scrolling across your screen occasionally is, saying what the Fall's arm defeat rate is. If that doesn't get up to beyond 80%, to the point where it gets to 100%, then what will happen is basically the urgent quest will fail, and you will not be able to get into the second portion of the fight. Instead, the lobby video screens are just going to be filled with this image of an ARK ship that has effectively been corrupted by the Fall spawn, and you're just going to see Elder in darkness in the background there. And then, as for the other urgent quests, we already read through those in prior weeks here, so we'll go ahead and skip past that. Alright. And then we have one more thing here, a guide to PSE, Photon sensitive effects. So, has that consumable tri-boost you took earlier worn off yet? You scan the screen for an active effects panel, and in the process you notice a small box in the upper right corner of the UI. There are a few different effects there, and they seem to have levels. As you dispatch the sole survivor of the last wave of Sylvans, a column of soft yellow light beams upon the enemy, and you notice the level increase for one of the boons. Is the game giving you buffs just for killing enemies? Why, yes it is. You've just discovered photon-sensitive effects, or PSEs, and we'll see a lot more of them in your service as an operative. Enjoy the light show. There are many types of photon-sensitive effects, but two notable PSE increases are experience gain and rare enemy appearance rate. When activated during a PSE burst, however, all PSEs will increase item drop rate in addition to their respective effects. Each type of enemy is given an area in a given area will contribute to a PSE when you slay them. Pay attention and you will notice that occasionally when an enemy is defeated, a column of light, several colors possible, will emanate from the slain foe, indicating that there are photons in an excited state. Focus your efforts on enemies that display beams of a specific color, and you can increase the level of the corresponding PSE. PSE Chance. Once a PSE reaches level 8, you'll trigger a PSE Chance. Sometimes you may seem to go straight to the PSE Burst when dispatching enemies quickly. During the PSE Chance, the enemies will continue to spawn at the normal rate, but if you manage to yield another column of light the same color as the PSE that provided the chance, you'll trigger a PSE Burst. If not, your PSE will be reset. If you are successful in converting a PSE Chance, you'll experience a PSE Burst for a short while. While a PSE Burst is active, enemies will spawn continuously in your immediate location, and the item drop rate and rare item drop rate will increase. The effect that is active during the PSE Burst will also be received by other players in the same area. However, once you leave the area, the PSEs and their levels will dissipate. This is why it's a good idea to remain in the same area of a planet if you're trying to trigger a PSE Burst. And that's sort of the key of how PSEs work. You generally want to stay grouped up with each other as you're going through a field so that you have a higher chance of getting a PSE Burst. And then once a PSE Burst happens, you don't want to move on any further from there, because enemies are just going to continuously spawn from there. If you start to move on to the next section, you could possibly cause normal enemies to spawn, and that would then prevent the PSE enemies from appearing. This is especially important if you're running advanced quests, whereby you are limited on the number of spawns that you can get per mission. So you definitely want to take advantage of this. And the other reason you want to be grouped up when you're in the middle of a PSE Burst is all those enemies are then going to spawn next to each person in your group, rather than if you're all spread apart, you're only going to get one enemy popping up for you for each player. So it's better to just group them all up so everybody can be performing AoE attacks and just taking them all down quicker altogether, essentially. One more. If you manage to dispatch enemies, enough enemies of the same type as the burst effect during the PSE Burst, you'll trigger a one more, which will continue the burst. Cross Burst. If a different PSE reaches level 8 while the burst of another PSE is active, you'll trigger a Cross Burst. This will result in even more enemies spawning, and a one more is guaranteed when the first burst timer reaches 0. The new PSE will be added to the effects of the first PSE burst. If you're up for it, you can challenge yourself by hunting different enemies and seeing how many times you can continue the Cross Burst. Weather permitting. Photon-sensitive effects are influenced by weather effects, as the photons are sensitive to changing atmospheric conditions. If a special weather event is happening in your area, it's a good idea to go PSE hunting. Now there's also another kind of PSE effect that can happen, and you're going to see that as we start to get more towards the different holiday-based events in the game, but there are certain costumes that you can wear which will also go towards triggering PSE Bursts as well. An additional tip to remember is that the more enemies will spawn when there are more operatives in the area, so it's a good idea to link up with your friends. And that is very, very true. If you are just by yourself, then, like I said a moment ago, you're only going to get one enemy popping up at a time, and that includes if you brought NPCs along with you. It only works with real players if you're all grouped together. So definitely group up, especially if you see other players on the field. Just run towards each other, group up for the PSE burst, and you'll be good to go then. Alright, and so at this point we're now going to move on to our last topic for today, which basically relates to the unwritten patch notes of the North American version. And basically, the point I'm trying to make in all this here is essentially, even though Sega is making updates to the game, and we've been seeing this week to week, whereby each week we're having to download a patch that's about a gigabyte big for each of them, or a gigabyte large rather. We don't really know what's actually going into these patches aside from what they're saying in the AC and fun scratches. Now, myself and a couple of other players have noticed some other changes that have been happening in the game that basically would be really nice to know about when the patch comes out, so that we are actually aware that these changes have been made. So, for instance, one change that I've noticed from the initial version of the open beta is when my controller would turn off, after I turned it back on, the audio would start to crackle for a moment, as it seemed like something was trying to reconnect within the Xbox One. As of this week, I'm no longer noticing that. And then I'm also going to bring up another post here that somebody made related to Extreme Quests. So Q-Block Gaming, they originally made a post here related to the Extreme Quests and how the stage orders seem to be kind of unusually written here. So within 180 seconds from the front, Fang Bancer, take down 1. That's how it appeared fairly recently. And now if we come down here to just a couple of days ago, Q-Block Gaming made another post here pointing out that the team did an awesome job fixing these in the latest patch. And they say in the example here, destroy a total of 4 sites of Forteran within 60 seconds. And personally, and I did put this down below as well here, I'd have to say that sites is a little confusing. Still, breakable parts would be a bit clearer in terms of what the goal is. But that definitely does help to clean things up a bit. But here's the point I'm trying to make. If Sega is making these changes, and we're still in the open beta testing process of this game, then really, we need to know what these changes are, so that we can be aware of the changes, and so we can test them for ourselves to make sure that they're having the intended effect, essentially. But that's just something that I would love to see. We don't know if that's actually going to happen anytime soon. And in fact, on the Japanese site, there really haven't been patch notes as well like that. I think it's more an expectation that Western players have than Japanese players have regarding patch notes. Because I'm not aware of that many Japanese games that put out patch notes like this, aside from Final Fantasy XIV. But again, that's got a Western version as well, so it kind of makes sense that they would be in there. But that's just my opinion on things. I wish that we were getting them, but we will have to see if that ever does actually happen. Alright, and so that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Day has dawned. Have a great day, everyone.